I don't have a clever opening for this. Like, at all.
You don't have a... You, of all people, you don't have a clever
I
opening
have
for
no
this?
clever opening other than, hey guys, I'm really sorry we're like 3 episodes late. You did get a PAX cast because of clerical errors on my part, so if you want to hear about PAX East, you can check that out on the channel or somewhere down below this. Some housekeeping things. You'll notice the Twitch channel now looks a little bit different. We got a lot of our graphics in, so if you like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things, you'll now get cool customized locations and things like that. And
Sick.
yeah, we got whole new witchajiggers there. Still working on some of the stuff for how I'm gonna do it with the podcast. But other than that, like, the Empire State Building is lit up like the Empire. That's been pretty cool to watch.
What?
What? Isn't it like Star Wars Celebration in New York?
Is it really?
Yeah, like Hayden
Oh.
Christensen was there to like relight the Empire State Building in red,
How did I
and they
not see
had
this?
like Darth Vader on the side of it marching, Darth Maul igniting his lightsaber, Sidious laughing, Count Dooku kind of being really gentlemanly. Yeah.
Call that an Empire state of mind.
That's a good one. I'm just trying to think of how you would relate that to Star Wars, and I can't think of lyrics for it right now.
Well, Empire.
Well, yeah, but
Because it's the Empire.
well, I know, but welcome to the Wrong Button Podcast, the show where we talk all things nerd, most things video games, and genuinely anything that tickles our fancy. Tyler, we got to catch up on some Bad Batch.
It's so nice to see you again.
It's very nice to see you too. It's been a very long 2 weeks. So yeah, we'll be back on our Bad Batchness. I almost feel like this should be like a general Star Wars thing because we also got to see the trailer for Acolyte, and then Tales of the Empire dropped like out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, get ready for this on May the 4th." Just okay.
It just so happens that the 2 weeks that we missed the podcast, everything and anything comes out.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that they were dropping a double episode on this past Wednesday.
I could have swore I looked it up, and
We had scheduled things.
We did. We had scheduled things. But yeah, so we're gonna start. We're gonna start kind of at the beginning of this all, because we are doing what episodes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 episodes to do, so we'll start with
Bad Territory.
Bad Territory, which I feel like is
the perfect territory to start at. Yeah.
yeah.
Probably I'd say one of the weaker episodes of the entire season, just because we kind of fell into that usual Star Wars trope, kind of introduced since The Mandalorian. It's like, oh, you need this. Oh, well, you have to do something for me. And then we go on some random quest to fight some pick your type of bad guy, monster, yada, 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 to then get information, which, fun fact, you need for something else, and then rinse and repeat. That was kind of the one critique about the Mandalorian storytelling that I thought kind of found its way into Bad Batch a little bit.
Mandalorian was very much like, because it started off as like a Western, and I've never said that. Like, he goes into the town, solves the problem, gets out of the town, he just has a kid with him eventually. For this one, yeah, this was very much like, oh, you have a quest. Well, can you do my quest, and then I'll kind of help you towards your quest. You're right. Overall, everything to do with Fennec Shen, like, cool, Fennec's back. Here's your character drop. You saw her in, The Mandalorian. You saw her in the Book of Boba Fett. Now you're gonna see her again in Bad Batch. You saw her previously in Bad Batch, like, right? Just trying to like retie in all those characters. Everything with her was like super weak except for one moment, and that was when they talk about who they're hunting. And she's like, yeah, he killed some people and then like screwed over the Haxian Brood. And I was like, hey, Haxian Brood, soft confirming more Star Wars Jedi Outcast and Jedi Survivor. And that was what I cared about.
For me, it was just I like Fennec a lot as a character. I thought that we got to see her. We've seen her in this show. She's firmly, it's like, you have a hot girl summer. She's in like her hot bounty hunter summer. But she's only in this right now for the money. She doesn't care about anything else. She's not looking to team up with anybody. She's chasing paper.
Yep.
I respect the grind.
Chasing the paper.
She's young.
Yeah.
She's happening. She's on the scene.
She doesn't have a cyborg midsection yet. She doesn't have those literal washboard abs that gets installed.
That was that was nice.
she's she's not natty, as we say in the biz.
This really goes to show that the batch, keeping up with the theme of this season, are truly desperate for any and all means of information surrounding the Empire, their M count bounties, Tantus, where's it at? Because there have not been many leaks as to where this hidden secret base of operations is.
That has me a little worried. Because like I kind of want to be like drip fed something, led into a trap, something more than what we have, because it feels very much like they're gonna, and we're gonna talk about this, because I think towards the end of Point of No Return, there is one moment in particular where it's like, here's our manufactured reason for how Tantus is gonna get invaded, and kind of like everything being taken away from Hemlock and probably passed off to Gideon in some way.
Yeah.
Like I'm expecting to see Gideon by the end of this.
Good theory, by the way. I haven't heard his name thrown out hardly at all, but that would make a lot of sense as to where this is going. Speaking of where this is going, Chris, we only have 4 episodes left. 4 episodes left of the Bad Batch until the series is done. And does it feel like to you that we have so much left untold that's going to have to be crammed into this? What? I don't know the run times for the last 4 episodes, but I'm assuming if they're normal length, it'll be what we got like 2 hours left with these.
Yeah,
with these characters.
Just about that. It doesn't. So I'm looking here. We've got Juggernaut, which comes out on the 10th, Into the Breach, which is the 17th, Flash Strike, which is the 24th, and the Cavalry has arrived May 1st.
That first week of May is going to be a fever dream.
I'm going to throw this out there. Like, I was like, oh, they're going to retire this style.
Ha!
Fucking Tales of the Empire drops.
Well, we'd mentioned earlier on this podcast, probably about a month ago now, but I thought they were closing the studio involved with this kind of animation form. Or that's what I've seen, at least.
I thought so too. But...
So obviously we're wrong. Don't trust us for your source of news. I will always try to tell you the truth. Kind of. Sometimes. But yeah, anyway, back to Fennec. It really was just the, Hunter and Wrecker take a side trip to Louisiana. That's what this entire episode was really about. I mean, those swamps with the mines. Like I said, I really think it was kind of one of the weaker episodes of the season, but I feel like that's feeding into my expectations of, we only have one season. There's so much left to explain. This should be really nothing but meat on the bones,
And I can really feel that as part of it. The main perk for this one was, one, we're gonna talk about fucking Crosshair's hand, right? And it's easy, right? AZ.
Yeah,
is like it. AZ is very much along the lines of, can you tell me what they did to you? Maybe we can start doing it this way. And Crosshair, being a macho Marine type thing, is like, no, I'm fine.
You just say that you're fine, but you're not fine.
Yeah, we can tell you're not fine. You can't hit the broadside of a barn with a sniper rifle at point blank range. Like, we're having some issues here. But I love the fact that this gave Omega the chance to be like, okay, you don't want to talk about it, but I have an idea. Let's just try this meditating thing. It works for me. And to me, it was just this very simple, like, let's just breathe. Let's just center yourself and process it when you need to. But maybe this can help you start to talk about it, or to like feel more normal, feel more like you. And that was literally like it was like, it was Crosshair was unimpressed, which I love every time Crosshair's now like, I love it. It's just like, right, okay, kid. Yay, Fennec is here, but it was like addressing the hand, PTS, and then Omega teaching like meditation to him, and I was like, yep, that's all I needed. Everything else of this was superfluous. Haxian Brood was nice because I don't think we've heard Haxian Brood.
I don't think so.
And they exclusively have hunted Cal throughout all of Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Fallen Order. So I just liked that. Like,
I feel like there's a big effort to bring more of Fallen Order and Survivor into shows, which I've appreciated a lot. They had like a good amount of callbacks in Ahsoka, I'd say, right? A couple of things here and there.
I thought it was like Bad Batch season 2 when they went, because they literally went to the Baraka to get the chips removed.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna see Cal. We're gonna see Cal. We're gonna see Cal." And
nope.
We saw the work that he was going to be doing, but we didn't see him yet.
I think the door's still open that we're going to see Cal in something live action sooner rather than later.
Especially since Patrick, looks like him.
Yeah.
The question is, will he be allowed to wear a poncho?
If he's not allowed to wear a poncho, then heads will roll at Disney.
Oh,
ponchos are that's the bread and butter here, okay? Nobody else bought the game for the story.
Well, bought it for
Chris,
the poncho.
come on.
No, bought it for that poncho.
For the ponchos. For the brand.
Wrong button ponchos coming to you soon. In this annoying purple and pink, just so you know.
Right after the Save the Squale shirts.
Yeah, we're working on those. Right? You're working on... Yeah, he's working on those. Don't worry about it.
In development. I'll have a prototype soon. But yeah, the meditation scene and little bit of life advice for anybody out there going through a hard time is that's the first baby step that you can take to addressing any of your problems. It's just to try and take a second, breathe. It seems like the littlest thing. It seems very inconsequential, but really it can have a profound effect on your life and your health. I know you didn't come here for stress relief and life advice, but you're getting it.
For this week, we've got plenty of it to give. Process your emotions. It's important.
It is very important.
But speaking of processing our emotions, next episode.
Yeah, the Harbinger.
Ventress is revealed.
Yep.
I like new goth mommy Ventress.
Ventress with hair.
Oh, but it's still the side cut. Like, she's got something, like, it's
right up her alley.
Yeah, like, completely her. Her glow up is just great. Her running around with just a single lightsaber. That's fucking yellow.
Yellow, let me tell you, it is. There is not a, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but there's very few colors sexier than a yellow lightsaber. I'd say a white lightsaber. I'd like to point out I was on that train before Ahsoka, so, just...
I remember when a white lightsaber was a Stormtrooper lightsaber.
See, for me, it was in the Old Republic. I had my guy decked out, for any Star Wars Old Republic players. I had, like, Jedi Battle Master armor, and then you could do, like, color dyes to it, and so I'd have, like, white on white. And then like a white lightsaber, so I just looked holy as hell.
You never saw the Muppet Babies episode with Darth Vader, did you?
Oh
yeah, white lightsabers. Darth Vader killing younglings in the Muppet universe, canon. I am not even joking. I will pull it up for you after this.
Okay.
But the Muppet Babies were the confirmation that the white lightsaber were the lightsabers that the Stormtroopers got, and based on some of their belts back in the late 90s, early aughts, it was, those are secretly lightsabers. They're all actually able to use lightsabers. And then occasionally, I almost say Toys R Us carried like a couple of them that's like, this is the Stormtrooper. Now it's just merchandising, so of course we're going to say yes. I still like my cyan lightsaber, but
cyan's a great color.
I just like cyan.
Great color. Cyan's, especially for a lightsaber.
Yeah. Thank you, Jehuti and Ada.
But the Harbinger,
yes.
as we're done fangirling over Ventress and her awesome looks, and hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? We'll get into it later. Dave will smooth over the creases that are conflicting, allegedly conflicting. After, with the power of hindsight and seeing these next two episodes, Harbinger was a perfect episode name for what was to come immediately following. What were your thoughts on Harbinger and Ventress' big return to the galaxy?
Ventress, so one, you could feel the Quinlan Voss.
Oh yeah,
Where she was like very like.
I bet you she felt Quinlan Voss too.
That's what she said. God damn it.
Can you blame her?
Ah.
Quinlan, man. Quinlan's
I mean, even Obi-Wan, like, you know, in his own show wanted to feel that, so it's fine. But I loved the tests, how simple they were. I loved the fact that she used very, like, because she's technically a Boken Jedi, based on her story from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And now comes back to that. And then Quinlan, you know, when we see him running with Obi-Wan to go get one of the huts, is like, can't you talk to the swamp? Like, I can talk to the swamp and commune with it. And I feel like because it was like her master and then her relationship with Quinlan, that was like, no, the Force isn't everything, it's everywhere. So she takes a very living force, natural, nature-based tie to it.
Which is one of my favorite interpretations of the Force.
Yeah.
You know, it may be if more Jedi took that approach instead of sitting in their stuffy temple.
Yoda wouldn't have been as alone on Dagobah?
Yeah. Probably wouldn't have gone to Dagobah at all. But perfectly said. The character growth that we get to see from Asajj, not only making her return in Bad Batch, but her last few arcs throughout the Clone Wars were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And she really mirrored Ahsoka in terms of getting cast aside by her side.
Walks away. Yeah, no,
well,
I really like that.
Well, Asajj didn't walk away. She got almost killed
a couple times.
So, you know, hers was less graceful than Ahsoka's. So, when you have characters cast aside by, you know, their group, it's always one of my favorite storylines to see how they overcome that, because you're being thrown from a system that you know and that you've been in for a very long time, and then sort of left to your own devices. So it is great to see Asajj back. And I love that line. It's like, how'd you find us? It's like, you guys really aren't that hard to find.
Yeah, it's not hard to find you guys. For as much as you're trying to hide, stop asking dumb questions. I love how that comes back later. I kind of like how she explains Force sensitivity as a burden. Like, you're not sure if it's like, hey kid, you don't want to be Force sensitive right now. Like, I know being a Jedi could be cool. Like, we all want to impress our girlfriend by floating a pair to her, but not right now.
Most Chad move in all of Star Wars.
Seriously. Not right now.
You're gonna tell me if you had Padme Amidala on the other side of the table, you wouldn't try the same thing too? Anyway.
Misa heard you's been a bad boy. Can we talk about her CQC? I know you're not like super into Metal Gear Solid, but like her CQC of like, okay guys, all right kid, the parents need to talk, so I'm gonna go get me a white flower atop this tree. It felt very much like Shrek, where it's like, I need a blue flower with red thorns. You got it? He's like, God, why do I have to be colorblind? She's like running up the top of there. And like, okay, look, I got rid of your kid. Let's do this. And they're like, we'll take you down. And she's like, I'm going to use the Force once.
To show you I can.
Take away all of your guns. And they're like, she's like, I've taken down. Like, you guys aren't impressive. And they're like, well, we've taken down harder. And she's like, yeah, I'm sure you have, buddy, but... And then just stomps them into the dirt.
The way that Asajj took down Wrecker reminded me of Ty Lee from Avatar: The Last Airbender with the chi blocking.
Yeah.
Because she hit all of 4 Wrecker's pressure points to a T. I felt so bad for him because he was just getting cut down like a tree.
But I love the fact that she uses like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to like get up and get him in a rear mount because she's so much smaller than he is. And like gets him the choke, drops him, but at the same time it doesn't look complete. Like she's like throwing her body because he's got like, you know, let's just say comfortably 400 pounds on her because of what I've seen him lift. I'm like, there's some muscle density there. Yeah, Wrecker, I feel really bad for Crosshair. He's had a lot of blunt force trauma to the head, and so he was just down. And then, like, of course, Omega goes up there, finds the one white blossom, gets back before sunset, and is like, I found it. What are you doing? And she's like force choking one of them in the air, and she's just angry, and she's like, she like puts him down and goes, it was like we were just talking or something, and goes, we'll try again tomorrow.
And it kind of, and I know it's hard when you fight a war that's so long, you're on opposing sides. It's so hard to trust anybody from that side because of everything that you've been through. But I really wanted them to get along quicker. That's just me being the optimist and like, listen, there's a bigger evil than any of you can even imagine. Let's just bury this hatchet and focus on the big bad.
And the fact that, like, during infiltration, that was the whole point between Senator Singh and Senator Chuchi, was like, oh yeah, we've got it. Like, we were on opposing sides. It's like, yeah, but neither one of us won, but this was much worse. And
we both lost.
I like how Ventress even says that, like, no, we were both on the same war and we both lost.
Just pawns.
Yeah.
Little pawns in a certain Dark Lord of the Sith scheme. And while I bring up the subject of Palps, it really goes to show how very little people in the galaxy knew what he truly was. Not a lot of people in the galaxy know that the Empire was actually controlled by the Sith. That wasn't an open that wasn't an open thing.
I don't even think they know that he is a Sith. I just think he's a power-crazed madman.
Because I'm trying to think of who knew that directly, and it's like Obi-Wan, Yoda,
Senator, what's his name? Leia's dad. Senator Organa.
True. Yeah, he had to be read into that.
He had to know.
And then his Palps' right-hand man, the vice, I guess what is his term? Vice Chancellor. Blue guy with Masamita.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he know? Yeah,
he had to have known.
Some of them have to have known.
He had to have known. He was just a corrupt.
The droid that was like had to reset everything in the Senate after him and Yoda decided to throw shit at each other. There's like two Jedi fought in here.
He got his memory wiped. He's fine. So yeah.
Does Tarkin know? No, Tarkin knows. Tarkin knows because Tarkin has to have a leash on Vader.
Yeah. And then Thrawn.
Thrawn knows.
So really, in terms of people outside the hierarchy of the Empire, it's very little.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, very little people even knew about Darth Vader's existence. Only rumors because Darth Vader.
All he did was hunt down Jedi.
Yeah. And you kind of have to get away from Darth Vader to tell people about Darth Vader. And not a lot of people got away from Darth Vader.
Oh, that just brings up a whole lot of questions because Vader, I should have known that General Tarkin was here holding your leash. So Leia had to know about him. So I think Vader had some presence, but I don't. It's a lot. That's a lot of questions. I'm now actually really curious about what was Vader doing, like, because like you gotta think about it. Like this would have been the tail end of Rebels. Like, what was Vader doing? I guess right after I guess he shows up on ships.
Mm-hmm.
He showed up in Rogue One, so he was places.
Yeah. I mean, but during that time period, I mean, now toward the end of the Empire, more people were kind of privy to it through direct contact. But I mean, especially in the early days of the Empire, nobody knew.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I was just trying to figure that out.
They just see it as like a bad, not a necessarily bad empire, but this empire taking its place, but you don't know the nefarious forces behind it. Anyway, speaking of nefarious forces,
the final test: go out in the boat in the middle of the ocean, and let's bring up a sea creature. And Omega can't. I do like that Ventress is like, no, you just do it. Like, that's how the Force works.
Do or do not. There's no try.
Yeah. She's like, just go out there and be at balance. Let go of your unconscious mind.
Be the leaf.
Um, you've never seen Firefly.
No.
Yeah, I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch How I Soar is very different after seeing that. So enjoy that one.
Okay.
The but her like the first one being like bounce on this rock. She can't balance. And I like that we really get to see Ventress and start of the Force. Every time she's just catching the fruit, like not looking, just like addressing them, catching the fruit again, and just doing that. Brings back the second blossom, which I think was just a shot in the dark. Maybe Ventress reached up there and felt it, or she just was like, man, what are the odds it has a white blossom? Like she might not come back, she might come back, doesn't matter. But then the final one, go out there and Ventress is like, a lot of people with the Jedi, you know, are predisposed to be able to talk to creatures. And we're like, oh, well, Omega helped Batcher, but I'm also like, you showed Batcher kindness and you took care of her.
Yeah.
I think she trusts you, and like I don't think it's a forced connection.
I want it to be a force connection. That's I've struggled on that point for a while because that's everybody's been theorizing about Omega since the very start. It's like, is she force sensitive? Is she not force sensitive? I would like for her to be, because she would make an incredible light side of the Force user. I'm not going to say Jedi, but she's everything I want a defender of the light to be,
But I think it comes to like her helping Batcher was like Batcher was cornered in a cage. Because the next closest thing I'm going to go to is going to go Jedi Fallen Order and Cal helping the Shio bird on Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
It crashes and it's still kind of there, but you can tell it's tired. And then he's like, I'm going to take this off of you and sting. And he's like, see, and I feel like with Batcher, I don't know, maybe we can call it some force sensitiveness, but I personally, and I know Mrs. Play's kind of like upset that I might be right. I don't think she has force sensitive abilities unless we go to Ventress and go, because the end of the thing is Ventress goes, no kid, you don't have it. I'm sorry. And if you did, like, it's a curse. Like, you don't necessarily want it. And then the Bad Batch is like, you're lying. And she goes, but what about? And does it matter? Because in order for if she had it, she can't be with you guys. You guys cannot train her to use the Force. So
come on, Echo's seen General Skywalker do it enough times. Pick up a thing or two from her mom.
Yeah. Oh, they can use the Force. And there's Skywalker. We heard that. That was a really good pull from Rex has seen it too. So I mean, like in theory, like no, you just close your eyes and then you need to do this with your hand, and it's supposed to work. I don't think she's force sensitive though.
I'd like for her to be though. I mean, you're probably right, but I am going to choose to live in this world until it is confirmed otherwise. I loved how we got to see Ventress calm down the sea creature.
Oh yeah.
I really thought it was going to be like that. That was going to be Omega's moment, but it wasn't. And seeing Ventress use the light side of the Force like that is really beautiful, considering everything that she's been through with her character. But her fall to the dark side, to see her back in a place where she's
able to just
to harness both, really, because you can harness both the light and the dark, which is what you honestly need to do, unless you're Mace Windu, because he just. I'm not going to get into the Mace Windu hate today. That's another podcast for another day. But the thing I really enjoyed about this is, did you ever end up listening to Dooku Jedi Lost?
I have not yet. It's on the list.
Okay.
So Mrs. Play, guys, for those of you guys, because Tyler's been telling me about it, we've started Ahsoka because it's read by Ashley, and Mrs. Play, I was like, she liked it for the car ride because it's like, oh, it just sounds like Ahsoka, not someone pretending to be Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. So she thought it was great for that. We have Dark Disciple next because Mrs. Play and I have like both grown to Ventress as well. Just, like I've been on her train a little more. Mm-hmm. We haven't gotten there yet in Clone Wars, and then I'll probably at least do Dooku. I don't think Mrs. Play is like she's like I like these characters. I don't care about him.
Listen, if Dooku was here and he said, jump, I will say how high. All right, I am a Dooku truther and supporter.
How?
But sorry, how does this tie into Ventress?
No, oh no, go ahead.
Well, essentially, without any spoilers, a good amount of Dooku Jedi Lost is portrayed through Ventress, in her lens, and you get just some sort of like some callbacks to her and her old master and stuff like that. And Ventress had a very heartbreaking fall to the dark side with her master being slaughtered. She was trapped on that planet anyway. So to see her in this kind of like redeeming light, having read Dooku Jedi Lost and everything involving Ventress in that book, it makes it that much more of a payoff for me.
Okay.
Please read or listen to Dooku Jedi Lost. It reads like a screenplay. Really great. A must read if you're a Dooku fan like myself.
I do like that. I'm betting, just so to end off on this episode, Ventress does say, like, she says, "No, kid, I'm sorry, you don't have the M count." I do like how she says it was thought that a higher M count predisposed you to the Force, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you can use the Force.
That's some pacification for years and years and years of Star Wars bloodshed.
Yeah,
within the fandom, because the whole
midichlorians, mitochondria, because it kind of, it does pay itself up. Mrs. Play has made it like the mitochondria are a
powerhouse of the cell.
They are, but they're a parasite. It's a symbiotic parasitic relationship. But they're not native to the cell.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys who haven't played Parasite Eve, go enjoy Parasite Eve.
I'm on both sides of the argument with the whole, and not getting into this because we could start.
Yeah, we can start World War III with this one.
I'm with people who say that it takes away from the magic of Star Wars. Because the Force it wasn't so midichlorians made it more scientific. And I definitely think it's kind of a product of the eras that both sets of movies were made in. But I can see like it does take away the luster of it, but I also think some science thrown in there is cool. So I choose not to have a strong opinion about it.
I personally think that my opinion on midichlorians has now changed so much more because of this episode or the series. Nice. Sorry, guys. I had to take off my. I could smell my feet through my slippers. So it's not good. If you have these people who are able to use these invisible powers to kill you, and you have no way to like stop it, defend against it, if you're just like a person, unless you get one of them, and now you're trusting that they're going to use their powers to help you. Like, I would want to be able to recreate that too. So part of me is like, hey, look, we found this correlation. Correlation doesn't equal causation. Mrs. Play likes to tell it to me all the time. So
I need to be reminded of that, by the way.
Huh?
So I need to be reminded of that.
Yeah. But so now I'm so much like, okay, the M count. We want to recreate this. Hey, Sidious does some nefarious shit. If he's like, okay, well, I want to be able to transfer my consciousness because I don't know how to keep myself alive like my master did. And it's him now being like, okay, what kind of like magic science can I use? And I have now come around to the midichlorian, but I do like that this says it was thought to, or it gives people a greater aptitude to, but it doesn't say it has to be this way.
All I'm thinking now is the fact that Palpatine, you're just such a fraud.
Turns out Palpatine actually had no midichlorians. It was all transferred to him. He found a way to bind him to his cells. That's how he got the Force. Like, and that's his BS. Like, he's not actually good with the Force or anything.
Listen, Plagueis was better. He knew. I mean, okay, you know, it's like the irony. It's like he could stop others from dying, but he couldn't save himself. Well, maybe because you poisoned him through a night of binge drinking. Couldn't save himself, yeah, because he kind of made that happen anyway. Heck you, Palps, you Dingbat. All my homies hate Palpatine.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so I guess we're caught up now to our marquee 1 hour 2-episode event that was this week, and oh goodness, oh baby.
Identity Crisis. That's the first episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have an identity crisis?
This was the episode I fucking wanted for like 4 episodes. I wanted this episode, like, fuck bad territory. Hey, they're going off and doing a mission with Phoenix Shen. Bam, just give me Identity Crisis instead. I do like what they did with, like, I don't want to take away from, like, how great I really think Omega and Crosshair and, like, trying to, like, bridge PTS, because that is really good at it. But, like, didn't need that shit. Hold on, let me go back. Could have totally gotten... Oh, hold on, let's just go. Most of Infiltration was good. But I could have totally done with the extraction because I just didn't care. I was like, cool, it's a clone battle. I've seen the Clone Wars. Tell me more about what the fuck's happened with the Empire.
We're all sluts for early Empire lore because there's still not enough of it out there for the early days of the Empire, even though we're actively going through the early days of the Empire in the show. But tell me more. Tell me more about how you solidified your power in the galaxy after a galactic civil war.
By fucking having... So that episode starting with that mother and that kid.
Oh, God. Heartbreaking.
And the one... It wasn't a Troydarian. What was he?
The neighbor?
Yeah.
The snitch?
Yeah. He was the fucking guy who got his arm cut off by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Like, same...
I'm blanking on his
race?
On his species.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Pardon my French. But
losing that PG-13 rating right now.
And for good reasons, because that is a direct callback to the precursors of the Holocaust. I don't know if you got that analogy, but wow, I'm getting historical here, but
Aqualish. Ponda Baba was the one there.
Thank you. But you would have in history when you're being fed propaganda that a certain group of people is bad, like in the Holocaust, you had neighbors turning on neighbors, outing them as, as Jewish.
I thought the ending of that entire sequence to me made it so much worse because... So, spoilers, Cad Bane's back.
Doing the same exact job for for the Empire that he was doing for Palps back in the Clone Wars.
Okay, I don't care. I love Cad Bane.
Yeah, this is just a carbon copy.
He's just
been stealing kids.
He is my favorite, like, reoccurring villain because at no point until Book of Boba Fett does he actually get beaten.
Yeah,
and I will make the argument that in Book of Boba Fett he's not really beaten. Plot armor, literally, is what lets him die.
Because it's Boba he's facing? Is that what you're trying to say?
Because Boba Fett has on his Beskar armor, gets
shot
literally
twice. Plot armor.
It's literally plot armor.
That's fair.
Like
God, he was so ugly in Book of Boba Fett, dude. Like his mouth.
It wasn't the best, but for what they were going for, yeah. I was like, got it. Cad Bane, he had the speech, all that, right?
Yeah.
But so you're right. They call in because the kid knocks over.
Not knocks over, threw a vase with the Force.
He threw a vase with the Force. Threw a vase with the threw his doll by mistake too with the Force.
Yeah.
And so that's my other reason why I'm like, I don't think Omega has the Force.
And you don't want to have it because immediately after situations like this is what happens to you.
But he's throwing that around and he's showing little signs to it. And the mother's like, I'm so sorry, here's the money, and she leaves. Mm-hmm. And the other two are it's don't even say shit like that. The other two are that could fucking destroy a family. They're we're in on this. We're sorry that this happened, but we're not. We don't want to bring that shit here.
Yeah.
And he goes and makes the call to the bounty hunter. And so Cad Bane shows up, and the mom knows you
hide your kids, hide your wife.
She knows, and then goes ahead. She gets stunned, and Cad Bane walks by and goes, "Thanks for the tip," and throws the credits at him. Like doesn't like scavenge on the ground.
Yeah.
Because I might be a monster, but I am nowhere near as fucking bad as you.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where the delineation is, but it's like this is my job and my livelihood. You're a fucking monster who sells out.
Cad Bane's a
kids.
businessman.
Like
he might be accepting the bounties to take the kids, and he might have been accepting the bounties to take the kids for years now at this point. But he's just working his 9 to 5. He's not snitching on his neighbors like that.
He's like, look, this is my job. Like I sold my soul years ago. You're a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have been here.
Return of oh goodness gracious, I'm blanking on his droid's name.
Avo.
Voiced by Seth Green though.
Yeah.
Oh, Master Bane.
Yes, I fucking love it.
He get blown up when Cad Bane's infiltrating the Jedi Temple in the Clone Wars. Like, I'm pretty sure it gets blown up.
Oh, the Imperial Senate, the Senate. It's the Senate building.
No,
the jail.
He broke in to steal a holocron too in the Clone Wars. He's gotten in like every important building on Coruscant, basically.
I love, like I said, I love him. Toto,
yes. Shout out Toto. He's talk about perfect. Him and AZ are some of the best comedic relief that you can find in droids not named R2 or Chopper. So, great to see him back. I love Seth Green's such a big Star Wars fan. I just love how he keeps getting voice roles for things because he's a good guy. I'm pretty sure.
Holocron Heist, Evil Plans, Hunt for Zero, Reunion, Bounty Lost, and Identity Crisis. Yeah.
So yeah, Cad Bane. I figured. I don't know if he's gonna have any more of a role in the show. I think maybe they just brought him in for that particular scene. Do you think we see any more Cad Bane going forward? I don't think we have the time for it. Truly, him or Fennec. I think it was like they played their parts in terms of information. Fennec was the information broker. I thought it was cool how her and Ventress are cool. Thought that was pretty cool, by the way. I meant to mention that.
Yeah, I do like how it was just like, so I do think that we will see him one more time,
mm-hmm.
and it's because to get to that point, we now need to go back. Emery is like, yo, Doc, yo, Hemlock, fucking Nala Say's not here.
Promote me.
Yeah,
run me the money.
I want a promotion. So here's why I don't think she's a clone and she was lying to try to manipulate Omega. She goes to see Nala Say. So she gets promoted, and Hemlock's like, well, let's read you up to speed. Let's get you in here. Let's meet the kids. Okay, so the vault is 3 Force-sensitive children.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have displayed Force-sensitive abilities that I've seen. The one was playing video games, the one was reading, and the one was like plotting his escape. But I don't think they did anything Force-like.
Not that I'm recalling.
I think they just have high M counts. Whereas this kid is high M counts and probably has the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I might be in a little bit over my head here. Oh, fuck. Am I a bad guy? Goes to see Nala Say afterward. She's like, I got promoted. And Nala Say is like, oh, nice. So what the fuck do you think about what's in the vault? He goes, she's like, we took kids from their parents. I was a kid. I think she was taken from her parents. I don't think she was cloned. I think she was kidnapped.
You keep pushing this. Emery's not a clone conspiracy. I'm going to keep telling you every time that you're wrong.
Where's the other clone? Where's one other clone? We see all the other female scientists, and they kind of, but they don't look like her.
Yeah, because they're not clones.
So why is she the only clone?
Because Nala Say likes to do some side work.
And we had Omega.
Yeah. So what? You can't have an
heir and a spare? I don't know.
That's exactly what I'm telling you, though.
But she's like, I was a kid. And that would have been the time where Nala Say would have been like, yeah, but I grew you. Yeah, but you were mine. Like, she could have given her anything.
She doesn't have to because her origin isn't in question. She's a clone. That's it.
We don't know that.
But she is. Listen to what everybody's telling her.
I think she's fucking lying to us to be like, Omega, feel for me. Omega, listen to me. Omega,
you're not
gonna
gaslight me into thinking that Emery's not a clone. You're on the wrong side of this battle, buddy.
The laugh when she's a fucking not a fucking clone, and you're all like, oh, Chris caught it. He never misses.
Listen. If that happens and Emery's not a clone, I will let you.
A mellow mushroom wild in Havana pizza, and I'm gonna eat it in front of you, and I'm not gonna fucking share.
Sure. I was just
oddly specific thing to go for.
I'll agree to that. and on top of that, I'll give you 5 minutes in the opening of the podcast after that episode where you can just you can have your victory lap, which isn't going to happen. So when we get to the last episode of this series, you're hearing it from me.
So all right, I don't think she's a clone. To me that says she's not a clone.
Yeah,
that says she was taken from her parents because she was force sensitive. She had no aptitude. Her blood wasn't working. Something's different. And I don't think she's a clone.
Sure. That'd be pretty cool, but it's not going to happen.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, well, can I read you? Because, guys, I take notes because it's just me. I treat this like I'm about to go do like a high school book or a college. Like I'm going to have to read this, then go to my literature class.
Class is in session.
Identity crisis. Force sensitive. We got the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cannot clone an M count. It has to be bonded separately. So that to me was okay. Someone needs to be able to host midichlorians, and that's why I don't think. I think like whatever the test is, it's like she doesn't have midichlorians, or these midichlorians aren't hers.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third and final one, Emery, not a clone.
I'm gonna take my own set of notes, and it's just gonna be Emery is not a clone in every single page. Can we talk about how immediate it is that Emery does feel over her head like this? Oh fuck me! She's like, yeah, promote me. I'm ready. I'm loyal. I'm always loyal. You go in and they're testing on kids.
It was literally the most like it was like one of those things where it's like, how do you know you're one of the bad guys? She walked in and goes, oh, everyone, I thought that was I'm the only one not in on the joke. I thought Hemlock was a great guy as he's constantly like this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Are we the bad guys?
She's thinking back to, and you could really see like this entire episode, she just has Omega in the back of her head.
Like, maybe keeping her in a cage. Not.
Maybe I should have gone with Omega when she gave me the opportunity.
It's like, Omega in a cage, maybe. But she's like, but we're doing this for the greater good. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking.
Speaking of the greater good, one of the force sensitive high M count children, whatever you want to call them, or specimens.
I'm Eva. That's Beast Boy and Bluey. That's Princess Play.
I thought it was Eva.
Eva. I don't care.
I can't remember how it was pronounced, but she's like, it's like, oh, will you find out for me when I get to go home? And I just had flashbacks to the Andor episode during the prison arc when they're like, yeah, once you finish your time, you're going home, and then they just throw you onto a different prison level.
Fucking thought that was one of the coolest things ever.
Oh yeah,
and then they killed an entire half of the prison
because they accidentally released the wrong person onto it. Yeah. Ouch. Talk about it's stuff like this with the Empire, because the origins of the Empire, what George Lucas envisioned, space Nazis. That's what. That's
yeah.
what this is.
Yeah. That's all they are.
But like then you just try to think of the Empire as in like, they're evil, they're suppressing planets. But then you get into the real evil crap, like testing on kids. Like this is the kind of stuff that makes my skin crawl when it gets to the evil, like levels of evil, And testing on children, that's firmly in the "oh my god, you're so evil, please stop" kind of field.
And it's the fact that it's been addressed how evil it is twice now. We saw it originally in the Clone Wars and Ahsoka, and they're all like, "Yeah, dude, this is some next level. Wow, the Sith are bad guys." And then Ahsoka comes back when it's like, "Oh, have you ever seen this? In Rebels?" And she's like, "Yeah, the Empire was like testing on kids, and it was some messed up shit." And they're like, "Yeah, no, you don't need to say that it was messed up shit. Like you said, testing on kids." And everyone was like, "Yeah, no, that's not good."
No, not at all. Not great, Chief. Not great. But yeah, Eva pulling at the heartstrings there. And then the one that tries to make it the blue one, right? Was that the blue or no green? I'm getting my colors mixed up.
Green tries to escape.
Yeah, so Beast Boy, whose name I'm Jax.
Jax.
Yes.
It's Jax, Eva, and somebody else.
Yeah, the third one really didn't have a role.
Yeah,
so
I think she'll
much.
have more of a role in the next one.
Jax tries to make a run for it. Smart guy. He sees the fact that these iPads control the door. He's an iPad kid. He's in that generation, so he, tries to make a run for it. Alarm sound. He's not getting far because he's in a freaking vault. You're not getting out of that thing.
Can we talk about going in there? So they unlock the vault. There are like 4 to 6 clone commandos in that room.
Mm-hmm.
They go walking through there. Scorch was just always with
Hemlock,
but walks in this time. The door opens. You see the ray shields. So they walk in. That door closes. The first ray shield opens. So it's every time they walk through the ray shields, the one behind it closes.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's not just ray shields. It also looks like it has some energy binding in there. Like, that is... We want to keep a Jedi in here. We're going to keep a Jedi in here.
Yeah, and that's exactly how the secret of Palpatine being a Sith Lord and that the Empire is controlled by the Sith, that's how closely guarded that kind of stuff is. So he didn't his escape did not go as well as Omega's. He did not get far. And so he gets thrown into confinement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the big moments for Emery here, because we can already see that she's wavering.
Yeah, maybe
almost,
testing on kids isn't good.
Yeah, almost immediately, which good.
I think she saw herself in Omega, because Omega was allowed to help out in the labs, and it's like, oh, you're just you like science too. We're gonna be friends. And then she sees, oh no, this is what would happen to her had Nala Se let her get tested.
Yeah, and so Jax gets thrown in isolation immediately. Mm-hmm. He gets stuck back in his room.
Shot.
Stunned, and then stuck back in his room. And Eva's like, oh, like he's not going to be in trouble, right? And Emery, who doesn't know the protocol because she's new at the job, she hasn't read the SOPs, standard operating procedure.
Yeah, I was like,
she, tells Eva, oh, you can see Jax tomorrow.
Yeah, no trouble at all.
Fun fact, according to Imperial protocols, that if you try to make an escape attempt, you get punished by a 2-day confinement, which automatically makes Emery a liar. And there's nothing worse than getting called out by a kid that you lied to them, especially when they have an adorable little kid voice. And they're like, you lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
You said I was going to see Jax today, but I can't. Why did you lie to me? I'm just a pure little kid that you're testing on, and now you lied to me, dude. Mm-hmm. Come on.
All he wanted to do was see his parents. All he wanted to do was go home.
We all do. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I do like how she.
If that was Anakin, he would just killed him.
Yeah. This is where I'm starting to like.
Fired up the Youngling Slayer 3000.
This is where I'm starting to really hit on the. I don't know how to feel about Emery. Because I felt like when she was like, I'm a clone just like you. I'm like, no, you're not. You're really fucking trying to connect with Omega. You're trying because like you were Nala Se's like
because they were born in the same place.
Cool. That's fine.
Because they're both clones.
I think it was an emotional manipulation. Like, that doesn't make me wrong. But then she goes back and she's like, oh, but she kept the stuff from Omega. And she goes and gives her the batcher that Omega made. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, okay, do you really fucking care? Because you did it and then you sat there and watched in the things and you were like, okay, I did the right thing and no one was up here to see me do this thing to make her life a little bit better. right? And I'm still like, or are you trying to be, oh. And then that episode ends.
We did gloss over the one thing that Nala say, you know, at the end of their conversation when she's in when she goes to visit Nala Say in her cell, you know, Emery's like, I don't have the power to do anything. And it's like, don't you? You're the chief scientist now. Of course you have the power to do things. Like you can.
Yeah.
Which I think is really sticking with Emery too. On top of all the wavering that she was put through with the kids being tested on, and then like her interactions with the specimen. Shut the Hemlock, you ugh. And then Nala Say putting that additional water on the seed that is what her hopeful eventual rebellion will be.
Yeah.
That's what's helping me grow on her, because I didn't really care about Emery at all before this kind of episode. Like I was hoping that she would make that turn earlier in the season when Omega gave her the chance to, but Emery at the end of the day, I'm just like kind of like, I'm not as invested in the character as some of the other side characters we've had. That's just me.
So Emery's gonna die by the end of this.
A lot of people are gonna die by the end of this.
I mean, that's true too. But I am of the opinion that, like, congratulations, you knowingly experimented on kids. Like, you knowingly did it to Omega under the guise of we all do this here. And then
the guys, you can't call it a guise because Emery truly didn't know about Project Necromancer to that degree yet. So I mean, sure, I know it's I know it's propaganda, but she had nothing else to really.
She still fucking experimented on a kid. Omega's. Are you saying Omega's not a kid?
No, Omega is a kid. I'm just saying that, like, saying, oh, like we all do it here.
Omega lives matter.
Saying that, like we all do it here. You can tell yourself that because in Emery's eyes, it's true. Like she's just another one of the staff taking a blood test. That's it.
She's another Nazi taking a blood test. Yeah, you're right.
I know. Well, that's brainwashing. That's propaganda brainwashing.
So, like, we were talking about this upstairs with.
God,
with
we're gonna get so canceled.
We're fine. we're fine. They are space Nazis. We're not condoning them. We're just saying
you violated Twitch's guidelines. Catplosion up there?
Yeah.
Second earthquake of the day.
Yeah. We talked about upstairs. We talked about like Zuko and I'm gonna talk about Zuko and Iroh, right? Zuko and Iroh. Zuko never actually does anything horribly heinous or wrong. He believes in the fight, gets banished because sits there and goes, whoever the fuck came up with this plan, you're just gonna march our soldiers into their death? Like you said we're bringing the power of the Fire Nation. Why are we just gonna kill off our soldiers, right? So he gets banished, right? He never actually does anything horribly wrong. Whereas Iroh's probably got some like.
He did something horribly wrong once. It's when he turned against Iroh in Ba Sing Se and joined forces with Azula. That's the blemish on Zuko. In terms of heinous stuff, he didn't do any of the heinous stuff.
He didn't do anything. He wasn't a monster. Whereas Iroh, I can totally see Iroh as like, ooh, you were a great general. You went to go capture Ba Sing Se. I'm betting you were starving women and children. Like, I'm betting like you were like, this is a war. I'm gonna do my best.
He
to
was
win this
damn
war.
good at his job.
Yep. And Iroh's entire redemption arc is I cannot affect change, because he even says this like later on is like, I cannot go back and take the Fire Nation from my brother, because guess how this whole thing started.
And it's like that's how history will see it: a brother killing a brother to take power
again. We need better. So my entire goal. Sorry, D-Mont, one of the guys on, is like, Iroh doesn't have. He sits there and tries to say Iroh has like this full character arc. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's a very flat character for a reason. We just learn more about him.
He's a great character.
He's a great character.
He is the greatest flat character there ever was.
But and that's his entire point. But so when we see this and we get to the end is, he liberates Ba Sing Se. He does take the city. He takes it back for the Earth Kingdom. But then he just like has a tea house. He's like,
He's chilling after that.
I don't deserve a life of peace. I don't deserve a life of luxury. I'm gonna have this tea house. I'm gonna try to put as much good out there as I can. But at no point do I think he actually feels redeemed. I think it's one of those things where he's like, I had a job to do, and this is it. We give him more credit, more grace because of all the stakes he's willing to go to, and he does end up helping the Avatar. He does so much good. But I think, and you see it within him, is like he paid the ultimate price of like, no, I buried my son here. Mm-hmm. Emery's not going to get any of that. So at no point towards the end of this, I don't care if she like goes, hey, I'm going to put a stop to this and help these kids get out of here. I'm going to blow this place up because that's what needs to happen. She will never deserve the like Uncle Iroh treatment to him. Like, you will always have been a heinous monster. Personally, I don't think she's going to. I don't want her to get the like. I'm trying to think of like other villains who it's like, you've done some horrible things, but I joined the good guys now, so I'm here. Like, and that happens. I don't think she deserves that.
That's Oh wow, you were critical.
Zuko goes to be with the Avatar. Zuko is a hero. Iroh cannot. And I don't want Emery to be like like her and Nala say, like, I'm sorry, you guys. You guys, you need to die here in a fiery explosion. You do not deserve this.
I'm pulling for Nala Se for the fate of the Kaminoan.
Who's she going to reproduce with?
I don't know. Some other Kaminoans out there, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Me talking purely from like keeping their species alive, you know.
Mrs. Play is like she's gonna get locked up, and it's like, bitch, what are you gonna do to me? I'm the last of my species. Like, have fun, Dr. Hemlock. Like, once I die, that's it.
Yeah,
you're an idiot.
So I'm with you on that train. That was harsh.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Okay. I hope Emery does the right thing, and probably will.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much that's going to have to be explained in these last 4 episodes. I have so many questions. And actually, to end off Identity Crisis, it was a really nice gesture, at least. I know that you have, like, you're looking at it, like, very suspiciously of giving Omega's old Badger to the kid, to Eva. I thought it was at least nice to end off on.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
I mean, well, I can't blame you either. But I'm just saying that after the evil that was that episode, that was Identity Crisis, that was at least a nice little tiny thing to end up on. Now the next and final episode that we're going through.
The point of no return. So the point of no... Kansas?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
They were this close. This close to getting out of there scot-free. I hate with a burning passion this clone assassin, whatever it is. We'll get into the theories about the identity of this clone assassin later.
Okay.
But for now, I hate the amount of plot armor he has and how ridiculously good he is at stuff. Pisses me off. The entire reason we have the Bad Batch is because these are these genetically defective clones with desirable mutations.
Mm-hmm.
And they fight armies just themselves. You know, they're crazy strong, crazy powerful. And then you have this little reprogrammed, brainwashed, assassin-looking guy who just blows up their ship, blows up their ship, and is hunting and shooting with the precision of a Jedi. Really? I mean, just in terms of like the senses that this person has. Give me a break. Why are you such an OP side character? That's what frustrates me about this man. This man fell down a waterfall giant waterfall and manages to come back in one piece. But very poetic starting the episode. Or I guess actually he not starting the episode, but whenever he gets to Pabu, he parks in the same cave that Hassan's in.
Yeah, just like, okay.
Easy to find, you guys. You guys might want to patch up this cave right here so you know who's actually landing on the island. Didn't quite get to that one.
Yeah, I think put a sensor down there, maybe. Even if you don't can't close the cave off, put a sensor.
I kind of glossed over this at the beginning of the episode. You know, we get to see Fee. And there's a transmission between Hemlock and the assassin clone.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I had to wrangle some information out of a Transdoshan. Were they talking about
Sid?
Sid?
Totally think so.
Okay.
You were right. She gave us the information we were asking for.
Yeah. You suck, Sid.
Yeah, she does.
Never liked your character in the first place. Hate you even more now.
And especially after the game episode where, like, Omega's just winning her money hand over fist. I was like, oh, she likes the kid.
Why would you betray a good thing like that, you know? And the Jedi worked with you a lot? The Jedi? God, no wonder they died. Talk about poor judgment. Maybe the Order should have gotten, you know? I'm not saying Palps was right, but you guys sucked at the end. You guys were terrible. I'll give a pass to Obi-Wan. I'm not going to give a pass to Ahsoka because she left. She knew exactly.
She saw where this was going.
Yeah. I'll give a pass.
Barris, you also get a... Your pass is...
Barris did some fucked up things.
I'm going to give you a 2-day liberty. You get a 2-day liberty.
Okay.
Get your ass back here.
All right. I'll
We'll see you on May 4th. I don't know how to feel about you yet.
I think I might take off May 4th. I think I might. That might just be a day I'm not doing anything. What day is May 4th?
May 4th is a Saturday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not coming in. If I have to work on Saturday.
So I think what we should do is like watch and then live podcast.
You think so?
Yeah, like watch
we
party,
can do that.
live podcast. Maybe. I'll talk to Mrs. Go ahead.
So I thought when Transdoshan was being mentioned, I thought it was talking about the Transdoshan that Omega swindled in the bar a couple episodes back in the dive bar. I thought so, and then I realized I was like, no, stupid. They're talking about Sid.
He was really fucking salty. Oh boy, he coughed up information.
Yeah.
None of it was useful, but boy, was he salty.
So that's and then my brain was like, yeah, no, it's Sid. Get a grip, buddy. You're supposed to be on a podcast talking about this stuff. Get a grip. Fee. I'm so glad that Fee wasn't on Pabu when this whole thing got down. However, the clone assassin finds Fee's ship on that space station, right? She's getting refueled. She's arguing with her astromech droid. Haven't we all been there? We all argue with our astromech droids. They can be sassy little.
We'd go into a loud room.
Yeah.
A really loud room.
That ship alarm. You mean to tell me you still didn't hear it? Like, I know you're...
Dude, I listen to some loud music. Jizz can be really loud.
But it was... There was like a flashing red light, like you didn't see it through a window or off a reflection of something.
Droid is like, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah,
What did I do?
right?
Okay, what else? Oh, she didn't notice. Oh, thank God. I love that he was like, oh,
he's just
shit.
He's just a 9 to 5. He's a blue collar guy. This will not be reported to HR. Star Wars is always full of the "you were this close" kind of tropes. That assassin droid's really great at stealth. That's another thing.
Not the assassin droid, but
the assassin clone. It's because I'm so used to saying assassin droids, separatists, you know.
So
I hate this guy.
Okay. I think, in light of recent events, I need to change who I think it is.
Are we both thinking of who it is because of a certain aspect of this person was brought up in this episode?
Maybe. So to go forward a little bit, right? We go back to Pabu,
Mm-hmm.
where the Bad Batch is this close to getting off the island. Rekka's down there, loading up, and Omega's like, "Hey, I'm sorry we have to leave. I'm gonna miss you guys. Thank you for making a home for us. Here's Batcher, and we're gonna bury Tech. Tech is dead. Go back. He's like, hey, I got the information, found the stuff. Gets a call. He goes, I hacked I hacked her stuff. It was tough, but I hacked it. And so we're gonna go get it. But we've also just buried Tech. And I'm like,
are you sure about that?
And I'm now like, and I even said that this is in here. Shadow, that's what I'm calling him, is Darth Vader. He is just a stand-in for Darth Vader. So, in order to make him a good Darth Vader, he has to hurt. What clone, what unit are you with? The only unit that he has to hurt is the Bad Batch.
Yep.
I think it's Tech.
I also, unfortunately, think it is Tech. Which brings me some peace that he's alive. Like I've been saying this entire podcast.
Until you watch him die again.
For realsies this time?
For realsies maybe this time.
If it's Tech, that guy has a hell of a shot now.
He did use a pistol to shoot a cable.
I know.
Okay. I just want to say that.
So yeah, I love seeing Crosshair and Hunter together. They're conflicting personalities, but also brotherhood. Every scene with them, I just enjoy when they're not at each other's necks.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, they're getting ready to leave Pabu, walking toward the ship. Hunter's like, I got this feeling. I don't like it. It's not good. But hey, let's get out of here. Meanwhile, you have the cuts to the clone assassin, just running around the place. He when he gets those shots on their attack shuttle, and I'm like, how's he gonna take down this thing? And he just starts. He employed that dirty trick that Crosshair used against him during the exfil episode,
mm-hmm.
where it's like Crosshair couldn't hit him, so he cheated with the explosives, and then so he did the same thing. Sniper rifles, man, they have a variety of uses.
Yeah, some attachments on them.
Yeah, those are crazy. I was screaming at the TV because I've said this entire podcast that I swear to God, if anything happens to Gonky, Dave, I will be outside your house with a torch. Don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, this
Dave.
is totally a joke, except for the fact that he's got a torch and not a chem light.
For Wrecker to see the fact that oh crap, what's that blinking thing? Wait, I know this blinking thing. I'm the explosives expert
Oh god,
of the group. I love how he risks his life getting Gonky out of there. That made my day because it shows how critical of a part that they regard Gonky as. He is a defective little battery.
God, he's like an Apple battery.
Fun fact: the name for my TV at home is Gonky.
Oh, that's good.
And it's so fitting because my TV is just giving me nothing but hell lately. It's just being the jerk. You are defective. I can't believe we've waited this long, and I've been waiting to say this for the entire podcast. The freaking score of this episode had my heart rate on just fire.
Oh, it is great.
Oh, the Kiners. And I guess Kevin Kiner got help from his daughter in his. There's 3 Kiners listed for the score.
Mm-hmm.
over the last couple of episodes. And I know one's his daughter. I don't know who the other Kiner is. I don't know if it's his wife or if he has a son. But oh my gosh, you had this whole thing with Star Wars where John Williams is the GOAT.
Yes.
He is the GOAT. Anybody who does not recognize John Williams as one of the GOATs is wrong. And you should feel bad about yourself because you have terrible taste. But you had this whole question of who's going to take over for John Williams when he's done with it, you know? Kevin Kiner, man, thank you, because you've done a really great job. It almost kind of felt like a Halo 3 mission, you know? That's what that's what the score of this episode felt like. It felt like I was in a Halo 3 mission, right before what, like 3 gates?
Yeah, and Halo 3 is such like a good goodbye soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Listen to that a lot.
So the stakes of this episode. So the ship gets blown up. R.I.P. The Bad Batch is awesome. Modified.
The Marauder's done.
Yeah.
This is the start of
the end.
Yeah, we gotta take it all down.
And you remember how we had this whole argument about Omega and Crosshair making their escape from Mount Tantus, and I was like, why don't they send more people in to go capture these people? You know, to go capture Crosshair and Omega. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is such shoddy security. You know, you have all those clone commandos there. Use them. The Empire got here lickety split, and not only it wasn't just 2 shuttles. They brought the Venator down. There's gunships everywhere. They're rounding up everybody on this island. I'm like, as much as I hate you guys right now for doing this, like, thank you.
This is the appropriate response for what you're asking for.
Exactly.
Can we also call
I hate you for it.
Tarkin being there, like, hey, you asked for more money. What the fuck? I better see results. Or, by God, are you going to hate how this is going to go for you? Because I'm going to go to the Emperor and be like, yo, there's no results here. I'm pulling the fucking funding.
Yeah.
Stop me. And Emperor's going to be like, all right, go ahead, man.
And that's the kind of downfall that I think all of us have been looking for, or potential downfall for Hemlock, because you know, he's not in any further Star Wars projects. We don't see him. He's not mentioned. So that nugget being in there, because earlier in the series and on this podcast, we were like, wow, the Emperor and Hemlock they're bros, because that's how Palpatine is when he needs something from you. He's right there, right there for you. But for how close they are, and you know, Palps is like, yeah, you have any resource you need, it's at your disposal. Don't worry about it. But then you have the accountant calling the accountant of Palpatine. He's like, we don't have money for this in the budget. What are you talking? Unlimited? He said unlimited resource. No,
we ain't
buddy.
doing this shit.
You'll get this funding request, but I swear, the
Emperor's really just the executive producer. I'm the director.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Our team's budget call next Thursday, you're having it. If I don't see these progress reports with great markup, you're done.
I do love that he's like, let me tell you, it will not go well for you. And the other part of me is like, that is such, because we talked about like the Emperor runs it as if he were running a bunch of Sith, where it's going to be like, I'm going to pit you guys against each other. We saw that towards the end of the last Mandalorian season, where it's like, hey, they're all coming back, and it's like, but you guys are already having the same problems because you have no one really strong at the helm. Tarkin was strong at the helm because let's face the Emperor's the face. Tarkin was his man. It was his bulldog.
God, I hate Tarkin.
I love Tarkin so much.
I know he's great at what he does. I hate him for it.
He's such a good detestable character. He's such a good detestable character.
Yeah, he's a great detestable character, but he's a dick. Yeah. I didn't think it was possible for me to hate Tarkin more until he got introduced into the Clone Wars. I was like, this, even for the Republic, this guy's a jerk.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Batch learns the downsides of hiding out on an island. they have this plan. Hunter tries to steal a gunship, which now that I'm thinking about it, plays into Tech being the clone assassin even more. That he knows that they're going to try to take a gunship to get out of here. Or it could have just been like that's how they escaped in the first place off of Mount Tantus. You could be using that logic, but I think he has a more intimate knowledge of the batch because he's Tech.
And I love the fact that it's like, we have a gunship. He's trying to, and he's just like kill the guy in the gunship. He,
Yeah.
Like just kill him. And it's not a clone. Like there are like 4 clones, maybe 8 clones down there.
They're all commandos, aren't they?
Yeah, it's all the commandos, and then it's
TK troopers.
no, then it's Shadow, and then it's TK troopers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, so part of me is like, okay, when Tech fell, hit his head, scrambled him a little bit, he's so unconscious and blah 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 that like parts of his personality come through, but because TBI, it changed your brain. Yeah, I'm,
and again, like this is fighting bad guys in the real world. This is the Empire that you should be afraid of in Star Wars because they're doing everything necessary to ensure that they're gonna get a victory here.
By the way, we're destroying all of your ships, all of your livelihood. You live on a fucking island. Where did they get the ships from? Where did the boats from? The skiffs. How do you get more skiffs if you can't get off the island?
Call somebody. Hopefully. I hope that they have extra material. Hopefully they know a person.
Yeah.
But no, you're exactly. They were the big bad Empire this episode. They were not foolhardy.
Yeah. TK Trooper's still worthless.
But, absolutely.
And then Omega, of course, they go back. Wrecker gets hurt. Omega goes, and they're like, okay, and looks across there and goes, all right, we lay out one play, and he goes, wait for Hunter. And she's like, nope, I'm gonna turn myself in, and you're gonna do your marksman thing, and you're gonna hit it.
You're gonna find me.
And he's like, no, kid, this is bad. She goes, well, it's my fucking choice. She's like, my body, my choice. And he's like, I want to be a parent right now, but I don't know how to do this and say no to you. So, well, I guess this is what we're gonna do.
Imagine getting strong-armed by a kid like that. You're a big, scary, I don't like anybody marksman. But nope, not with Omega.
And he's like, this is a bad idea. This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. And it was so close. Actually, I don't even think it was close. It was just shot to be close. And he just nowhere near in time.
It would have been in time had he not gotten assaulted by those troopers that found him.
Yeah.
The episode ends off with that shot, and then you have Omega in the clone assassin's ship. We don't get to see any more of Wrecker, Tech, or Wrecker, Crosshair, or Hunter, right? We don't get any other scenes after that with them, right? And that's where it ends off. Am I wrong?
Yes, but we get to see Crosshair after the shot misses, just
deflated. Well, yes.
I think that was needed. I know it's not a lot, but we know everyone else is alive. But now it is 3 of them going after her, so kind of happy for that one. But then we also watch Omega get there, and she's on the ship, and she's in this incredibly stressful, and she's just like, it's okay, and she goes right to meditation. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna have a force power, it's gonna be the next couple episodes, or you're gonna be like, oh hey Tech, how you doing?
It's probably gonna be both.
Force snoop boop.
I mean,
or she literally,
I'm saying she displays a force power, but also
if she does anything, she does what Ahsoka does to Rex. I have the force. I have the force. I have the force. I have the force. He's okay.
Hopefully,
maybe
something. I don't know. But yeah, if I had to guess, she's going to deduce that it is Tech sooner rather than later. Which makes me wonder if maybe Fee had that feeling too.
So I took it as she felt someone there. She didn't like it.
Yeah, I took it that way too, but I just thought it would have been.
I also thought he went out of his way to not. He could have just killed her.
Yeah, fair.
And he went out of his way to not. And I'm like, is the heart stronger than the programming? Kinda.
A little bit. I detest Dave Filoni for these freaking cliffhanger ends of episodes because I'm just sitting there like, give me 2 more minutes. It's like waking up for school in the morning.
No,
5
you're
more
like-
minutes, Mom, please.
Come on, it's like waking up for work in the morning.
Yeah, fair. Except there's nobody to tell me no. Except for the fear of like losing your job and then, you know, being destitute on the street. Anyway,
That's true. Oh, that went dark.
I think we're right on the money with the prediction that Tech is the clone assassin. I don't really have any other big predictions. I'm just really looking forward to these last few episodes and savoring them as much as I can.
I think it's gonna be one of those the few ones where we're gonna get to the end of it, and I'm gonna turn around and like rewatch the entirety of the Bad Batch, because I think that they've had this drawn out to where it was always gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. Like the pacing up, the episodes I have not cared about are like I didn't care about anything with Fennec. I was like this episode to me was superfluous. You could have done more with with Omega and Crosshair.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with the entire battle like after like
the Exfil?
like it was cool to a point, but at this like the interactions. But once it got to like here's the fight, I was like I don't fucking care.
The interactions made it for me because you got yet another scene with Wolf. Seeing Wolf was cool, but just clone. I love any scene that has to deal with clones really thinking about what side they're on. So the ending of Exfil was really good, but the battle itself, like I didn't care. We're not in it for the battles this time.
It's not swear. It's not the Clone Wars.
We care about these characters. Stop making them fight.
Yeah, like it's not the Clone Wars where I'm like I want the battles in the Clone Wars.
Oh, because the battles were dope.
Yeah, like
and the
walkers and everything else, and this like
the battles are cool here too. It's just guys, give me the.
I want my meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
I don't want dessert. I want meat and potatoes. But yeah, we will be back next week normal time.
Yep, next Friday around 5 o'clock,
barring anything. Couple quick housekeeping things for you. Of course, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, we're at 479 subscribers on YouTube.
Dang!
So 21. You guys want to jump on over to go ahead and jump on over to our YouTube channel to see this as well. Feel free to hit that subscribe button where you can also watch us play through Jade Empire. You can watch us. I'm currently playing through.
Don't mention the JE name.
Resistance Retribution. Coming out in May. So as soon as I can force Tyler to be here to help finish, hopefully be streaming and possibly putting out a series on
Talk about Paper Mario?
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, because that remake's coming out, so I'm planning to get that for the channel. And I will force Tyler over here to.
You'll have to force me out of your house.
That is fair.
One of my all-time favorite games.
It'll probably become like if we're not doing the podcast that night, we're streaming that night, and the series will come out as it is. But yeah, so we've got all those things, and I'm trying to think.
I think you got everything.
Yeah. But yeah, enjoy this tomorrow on your podcast platforms of choice. Take care of your friends here and elsewhere. Keep it weird. You're all winners out there. Have a great evening,
and
everyone.
give everybody a hug. Everybody deserves a nice little hug. Nice way to end the podcast and the Twitch stream.